Welcome back to the Delivering More platform, folks. I'm your host, Ben Alkire. Thank you so much for your continued viewership morning, afternoon, and evening. As always, if you could hit that subscribe button down below, that's going to help us out more than you could ever know. I have another wonderful Meet the Team to bring to you folks today. I have with me in the building, Tristan Pellegrin.
What's up, y'all? You still got viewers without me on the podcast?
Yeah, we're moving and grooving.
Dang, dude, that hurts. That hurts. But good to see y'all. I'm sure they remember my face.
Yeah, at least the voice maybe, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Maybe the voice sounds a little familiar to the folks out there. What's on your mind? You got a busy schedule sounding like before we started recording here.
Yeah, we're running into the busiest week, or busiest time of the year for all you drivers out there. This is prime time around here right before Thanksgiving all the way through November. Slows down a little bit, like first week of December or beginning of December?
I would say it's pretty busy up through once you get to Christmas, it's pretty dead because obviously all offices start to close till like New Year's and things like that. So yep. I would say into the second, third week of December, and then after that it tapers off. Yeah. So
when things like that happen, because I work on the technology team here, I'm an engineer at DeliverThat. Everything that is not working like perfectly, or if you have any errors that have been happening or some things that you've been ignoring for a while that you need to get to, those things have to be done before pretty much next week. What is it? It's the first week of October right now, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Maybe the second. But next week we're really going to start hitting prime time. So anything that's, hanging loose has got to be wrapped up. So, I got today's Tuesday. I got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and the weekend to make sure that I get my ducks in a row, because if we don't get our ducks in a row, we don't want to be causing problems for agents and drivers, So
facts. Yeah. Got to keep everyone happy on all ends. It's got to be a tough position to be in. We'll cover a little bit more DeliverThat specific stuff towards the end of this sit down. Mm-hmm. But obviously we got to get to know you a little bit more first.
Yeah.
So let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
Where were you born and where'd you grow up?
Born in Massillon, Jackson, Ohio here. Grew up there my entire life. I didn't move anywhere until I was 20. Yeah.
20?
And I'm back here now.
Yeah. Hell yeah. What about family life? Mom, dad, sisters, brothers? What do you got there?
Yeah, I got 2 blood brothers. I got a step brother. I got 2 step sisters. Obviously mom. I got dad. I mean, not obviously, luckily. I grew up with 5 siblings. So that was a pretty interesting and awesome life, to be honest.
Yeah, and
I'm the youngest. So.
And you're a twin.
Yeah, I'm a twin, but still younger, but only by 13 minutes. But, when you look at me and my twin, he's so much bigger than me. I'm just younger. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it is kind of strange. Do you take more after your mom or your dad?
My mom always says that I look like my dad when he was younger, but I have her complexion because he's dark Italian. Okay. My brother's got the complexion. Twin brother looks more like my mom, but has like my dad's height and skin. And then I don't know, my older brother's just.
I think that's what throws it off too, though, because Dante and Dylan look fairly similar, and then you have your mom, and then you're just like, where'd this guy come from?
Yeah, I might be the milkman's baby, honestly. I'm not sure.
No. All right. What about so growing up? Obviously, you grew up Jackson Township, Jackson local schools, I believe, throughout the entirety of your youth, getting into high school, things like that. What about the first job? How old were we? Where was it?
16 years old. I just got my car, that old Chevy Cavalier. Jeez, man, that thing was. When you get a first car, it was a piece of crap, but it's a first car. So
my first car was a 1994, I think, Geo Prism. And that's like not even a manufacturable car.
Yeah, that's not even a thing.
Yeah.
So once I got that car, I started working at Dairy Queen, cooking burgers, flipping burgers, my dad was big on work, so I got to work right away. I worked there for like a year, then I quit for the rest of school and had no job, but I started work around when I hit 16.
I love Dairy Queen. I'm a big Dairy Queen guy. I love the burgers. What did you have a favorite item to cook or to consume while on the clock?
Yeah, but I used to make my own custom items. Like we used to have spicy chicken tenders. So I would literally, this sounds gross, but I was 16 and it was delicious. Okay. You get the buns, you get mayo on top. I think we had like some Chipotle hot sauce or something. You put the spicy tenders on the bun and then you put bacon on it. And I would just eat that like all the time in the freezer because you weren't allowed to, but I was doing it.
Just chicken tenders and bacon, no burger or anything?
No burger, nothing. Sometimes we had this fire burger, like this spicy one. I would make it, but when you're working there, you got everything at your disposal, so you don't ever make what's on the menu. You make what's good.
Yeah. What about a favorite blizzard or anything? Any concoctions of that nature?
Yeah, no concoctions. I'm just a classic cookie dough guy.
Okay.
Yeah, I love me cookie dough and Oreo blizzards. I don't like to mix a bunch of candy in there. It's just too much going on.
Yeah.
It's already enough sugar. Like.
Yeah, I'm a big cookie dough like brownie guy. I do Oreo's very good though. I like Oreo as well.
Oreo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oreo blizzards are the classic. It's honestly just delicious.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Okay, well, what about we're kind of moving through high school then. We graduate obviously, and then we move forward into further schooling? Do we get out of Jackson Township? Let's navigate that a little bit. What happens after high school?
Well, I do want to say, obviously, graduating high school for me, I was very close to not graduating high school. So, yeah, it wasn't as obvious.
That's actually I wasn't not close to graduating, but I think I had like probably a 3.5 to like 3.8 GPA up until senior year.
Mm-hmm.
And senior year, I think my GPA was probably like a 2.0 or like a 2.5. Like it
fell apart. Yeah,
I had no interest in it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I think I ended with like a 2.9. Like it wasn't like I got my stuff together, but in the beginning I was like skipping school and stuff. But yeah. Anyway, I still actually have dreams. I had a dream the other night that I didn't graduate high school. And I was like, I was like, oh my gosh, how did I not graduate high school? That's crazy. But then obviously I woke up. It felt a lot better. But so I graduated high school and then I moved to Florida with my buddies. I saved up a bunch of money when I was in high school. I had a lot of money and I moved to Florida and lived with two of my best friends at the time in a house. We had no rent. For an entire year with no job. We didn't have to pay any rent because we were fixing up a buddy's stepdad's house. And we just lived there. I mean,
where in Florida?
We were in Tequesta, which is basically in Jupiter. It's about an hour. An hour north of Miami? Maybe 2 hours.
Yeah,
north.
Jupiter, Florida is a big golf town.
Yeah, really, really rich area. But we lived like in this one area. It was called Tequesta. It was like. It wasn't a poor area, but it wasn't as like it wasn't mansions. You know, living in Florida in general like is not cheap. Like, but luckily we had no rent. So
hell yeah. What did you enjoy your time down there? What were you doing down in Florida?
Yeah, so happy I did that and just got away from school for a while and just went and it was almost a year there, just going to the beach, doing whatever you wanted. We would literally swim the beach for like in the ocean for like 6 hours at a time. Like it was insane. And then we'd skateboard. We would just go to like local smoothie shops, and we would go to nature all the time. I explored every single state park on the east coast of Florida. Like,
what is where are the Everglades at? Is that's
in
Florida,
we did?
right?
Yeah, we actually. So when I say everyone, maybe I'm wrong because we did not go to the Everglades, but that's south. That was south of us. Yeah. Okay. That's towards like people in Florida are gonna think I'm dumb, but I think that's closer down towards the end of Florida.
Yeah, I generally have absolutely no idea. Yeah, I've only been to Florida a few times. We gotta head. Are we right?
South?
Okay, we're getting a head nod from Vic here confirming.
Central, more okay. It's more central Florida, but like south central. Okay.
All right, we're close.
Yeah,
I think
if he's wrong too, we're really gonna look.
Yeah, we're spot on though. I think you did a good job of guessing there. Why do you move out of Florida then? Did you guys finish the house? Was it just time to get out of there? Where do you come back to Canton? What happens after that?
Well, I think we had finished the work on the house. We also ran out of money, so we drove, so we just ended up driving home. I think it was just time to go. You know what I mean? I think they were coming down to stay, his parents. And it was time for us to not be there when they were there. So
okay, and you come back to Canton?
Come back to Canton and get a job at a local health food store here. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
The Raisin Rack.
The Raisin Rack.
Yeah.
Is right over on Cleveland Ave? Is that where that is?
Yep.
Okay.
Worked there for quite a while actually. Met my baby mama there and had a kid. I think a year later.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all right, yeah, I was imagining we were kind of getting to that standpoint because then we can navigate that conversation a little bit because at some point then you take off to Hawaii in some form or fashion.
Yes. So we have my daughter Alma, and then she's, I don't know, 1 years old. We go visit Hawaii. She's almost one, and because my daughter's mother's her uncle lived there. He's Bob Dylan's touring manager. So he's got this
Okay.
beautiful home, and he's like, he used to manage Tom Petty, Sheryl Crow, all those people. So we went and watched his house because they were going like to Europe for like 3 months or something to see his wife, who's Bulgarian, her mother. And we watched us for 3 months, and we ended up actually wanting to stay. So we found somewhere that we found a 1-bedroom cottage on a farm, and they also offered me to be a farmer there, so I could make money and survive.
Yeah, and if you could right now, you're nice, clean up, look like you got a haircut pretty recently here.
Yeah.
At that point in time, though,
Yeah.
I mean,
Shaggy beard,
yeah,
dreadlocks.
I don't know, like, would your daughter even recognize the man that you were back then at this point in time? Like, she would have no idea who you are.
No, I mean, I've shown her pictures, obviously. And I remember when I got my haircut for the first time and her like looking at me and stuff. Yeah, she was a little bit thrown off. But yeah, I've been a completely different, looked completely different, I should say, since then. I had dreadlocks. I had the John Lennon circle glasses. I had the scraggly beard. I never wore shoes in Hawaii. I don't actually wear shoes here when it's warm out ever, but and my feet were always dirty, and except for when I was farming. You can't farm with no shoes. It's dangerous.
Is that what you spent all your time doing down there, though? You were working on a farm and just like living the life out in Hawaii, like no real commitment to anything? Or what were we doing in our time down there?
6 to 3, 6 in the morning to 3 p.m. I would work with an hour break. I would work farming. So, and then after that, it was just free game. And Bethany too. She would also work on the farm too. She would help with the microgreens. I don't know if you know what those are, like sprouts and stuff like that people put on their sandwiches. We made a ton of those, and those sold like hotcakes. Dude, I mean, eggs down there, they were $12. Like, they were $12 a dozen, and that was in, 2000 and...
I would say
19.
Yeah, I was gonna say 18. Yeah,
2018, 19. They were $12 a dozen.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was, and people just bought them. Like, they were just gone every day. They had 60 chickens, dude. Almost every single dozen of eggs was sold out, and because we had a farm stand, nobody actually like came and like talked to you. Like, we had a farm stand. It was just honor system. You come and pick out the veggies, fruits, and eggs you want, and you just leave the money in the box. And we live like out in kind of like the country, so people were just driving down there to just get our eggs.
You think that honor system was working out? Like, you think anyone ever was getting one over on you guys, swindling you a little bit? Or
I don't know. I asked them about that. They said it seemed like it was working out pretty well. Hawaii's just a different kind of place. There's just not that as many. It's just there's good spirits there. People are just happy to be there. You don't need a lot of money to have fun, and people are honestly a lot healthier too.
And it's probably a lot of people that are interacting with a place like that are probably a lot of like local people, right? Too. It's not like a tourist is coming out to that farm to like buy eggs and stuff like that.
Yeah. And they and it's a pretty small island in general, so no matter where you're coming from, it wouldn't take that long to get there. So I mean, the island is. I always tell people Ohio, where we live, is 40. I'm not even going to say this because I can't remember. But what I do know the statistics is the island square mileage of Kauai, where I lived, was 1% the size of Ohio.
Oh, really?
In terms of square mileage, yeah. And there's a bunch of mountains too there, so you got to think like nobody's living over there,
right? Yeah.
There's
only so much like actual habitable land.
Yeah, very small. You could probably drive around the entire island with traffic in 3 hours in a circumference, maybe 4.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. What so I mean, so 2019 then that's 4 years ago, so you're 23 at the time?
2019, no, I was
24?
Yeah, 22, 23, yeah.
23, 23. Okay, and then what propels us to get back to the mainland states, back to Ohio?
Yeah, I mean, things just weren't working out in Hawaii that great, I mean, we had a great time, don't get me wrong, but my daughter was young, you wanted her to be around the family. They were never even going to know her. She was, only like 1 year old when we moved there. So they would have no idea who she is because nobody's flying out to Hawaii, 14-hour flight, multiple times a year. They'd probably see her once a year, if anything, when we came home or when they came out. And flights there ain't cheap. Ain't cheap. It's like, $700 to $2,000 depending on when you're getting it.
Yeah, and then so obviously, and bringing her back to be around the family too, maybe helps you out a little bit too, right?
Oh yeah,
drop her off for the weekend with the parents, with the
Yeah,
folks, let them spend some time
babysitters.
with her.
Yeah, and then she, meets her uncles, her grandmas, and grandpas, and then the other kids in the family, and things like that. So that it was a good. I don't regret it at all. I would like to go back sometime though.
Yeah, for sure. I've never even.
They still go back there all the time. Her mom and her because her uncle lives there.
Okay.
But I'd like to go back and like possibly have a house there.
Like part time or full time?
Like a part-time house.
A part time house in Hawaii.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm about to win. I think I might have won that Powerball last night. I haven't checked. So 1.6 billion.
That'd be unbelievable.
Yeah. If you don't see me.
So we get back, we bring the family back to Ohio, back to Canton.
Yeah.
You're 23, 24 years old. It's 2020 when you come back?
Yeah, right around. Yeah, exactly.
So that's literally as COVID is beginning to hit.
Yeah, COVID hits very shortly. I'm trying to think if it was 2019 actually that we came back.
You would have had to come back in 2019 because
Yeah.
you started working here
In
2019.
Yeah, actually we came back in 28. We came back in 2019. It might even have been like December of 2018. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then COVID didn't hit until the year after.
Yeah.
But yeah, came back here and got a job at a restaurant down the road from here actually, and it was terrible. And then I ended up getting hired on here with you guys about 4 years ago, more than 4 years ago now.
Yeah. And then I guess let's walk through how that happens, because obviously, you have some specific ties to us as a friend group, with your older brother, things like that. So how do you hear about DeliverThat for the first time? Like, did you know about DeliverThat many years before even applying for a position here? Did you know about it up and coming as a brand new startup, or did you just come here and apply for the job? How did all that work out?
Yeah, my brother knows John, who's a co-owner of the company, and he had told me that they had started this company out in OU, and that's all I knew about it was that they did delivery, and I thought they delivered anything and everything, which I think they did in the beginning.
Yeah.
And that's all I knew. And then eventually I was telling my brother, like, dude, this job sucks at the restaurant. And he was like, well, I think they're doing like their first like large round of hiring at DeliverThat if you want to get in. And I was like, yeah, literally anything to get me out of this job. And I started out here as a dispatcher with you. I was supposed to be a hybrid role, like doing driver relations, dispatch, all that kind of stuff. But then ended up being, we needed dispatchers so bad that it was just me, you, and Mitch just holding it down.
Yeah, just grinding away. We were actually on this side of the office too, right? That was.
Yeah, I think you sat like almost like right here. I think I sat right next to you actually, right? And then we were working off laptops and it was just difficult.
Yeah, using Bring and everything like that. That's before we even have like a mapping where you could like see the driver's real-time location. You're just like looking at a list of like jobs, pickup time, drop-off time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I actually saw one of our old coworkers out the other night that we used to work with at that time.
Who was it?
It was Jason.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll tell you about it after the podcast.
You're out in Maslin?
I was out in Perry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's crazy.
It was like a month ago or something, but yeah.
Hell yeah. I haven't even thought of him in a long time. I know we still had like Patrick's vest up hanging on a hook here for like
years after he left.
Like years after he left. He just never came and got it. But all right, so you come on, we'll call it, do you know your start date?
Yeah, it was like July 1st of 2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you come on, we'll talk end of spring, early summer 2019, dispatch logistics team kind of thing. As you mentioned, it's a pretty small team at that moment in time still. I mean, a handful of us are helping out with the squad. We're working on pretty basic technology as far as what we were able to utilize at the time. What compared to then, I guess, comparatively to what these guys are dealing with now, utilizing like Vromo, Zendesk, all those things. I mean, we were in the Stone Ages, right? Like compared to what they're doing now, do you think?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, so right now with the tools they have to utilize and the speed of their equipment is just absolute leagues ahead of what we were using back in the day. Not only that, now that we have a technology department and we've also split this company up into other departments that are helpful as well. The technology that is becoming to the forefront within the next year or two is going to absolutely just be unheard of back then. Like we never even considered these kind of things. So right now is great, but I'm excited for what's coming like in the next year. Like even by the end of this year is going to be awesome, you know? So,
Okay. Well, let's walk into how you get to this point now where you're able to be in a position to develop those kind of things, right? So you spend what 1-2 years within the dispatch department.
yeah.
You have your daughter; she's getting older. You obviously are seeking, I guess, new opportunities or better opportunities, whether that's with DeliverThat, outside DeliverThat, things of that nature, and you decide to dive into the realm of computer programming, coding, things of that nature. So how's that decision get made, and what steps do you take to get proficient in that field?
Well, so dispatching was, I mean, it was a lot back then. I mean, it's probably still a lot now. Don't get me wrong, but back then we had a skeleton team,
It was stressful.
and I was getting really tired. And we also we were trying to come up with ways to help improve the processes. And I was getting exhausted. I got my daughter. I'm working 50 hours a week, and I just want to do something different. Like I don't want to be doing what I was doing for over 2.5 years. And I knew we needed something, but I also knew I needed something more than anything different. So I went back to an online school because I have a daughter and a full-time job, so I couldn't do anything other than that. And ended up finishing with like a certificate associates, whatever, in computer engineering, and was sat on that for a couple months here after I finished. That was difficult, having the kid and then going to school. I was up till 2 a.m. a lot, and then also working like a ton. We were so busy. The company was exploding, and we were trying our best to keep on our heels. And so I ended up finishing that school after a long and grueling process, and I'm sitting here on that degree for a couple months, and I end up going to Christian, our VP, and being like, hey man, I finished this school. Like, I really want to like utilize this work. Like, I don't see where this company goes without, like software. And he's like, well, I don't know right now, man. I know we're going to need it. I just don't know when. And then like a month or two later, like Aaron had me write him a little script, some code to help like with accounting. And he was like, that's it. He's like, 2 months, you're out of dispatch. We're hiring a CTO pretty soon. Like we need all of this. And that's when I transferred over, and ever since then, like my biggest school was great, but I've learned a lot more from working at the company and working with these much more highly skilled individuals, because I'm probably the least skilled engineer at DeliverThat. Not saying I don't do a ton, but these guys have like 10, 15, 20 years experience. And I've learned a lot from them. So you don't really learn code from just going to school. You learn code from applying it,
Yeah, I think that's probably true with, a ton of what people end up doing for a full-time career too, right? Like the schooling can teach you so much, like the basics, but until you get your hands dirty and kind of get in the weeds of things, it's tough to really get tangible success for what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
You mentioned the team, right? So obviously we have Benzel, who's our CTO. Pavkov is our
head of product.
Yeah, like CPO, chief product.
I don't know,
something like that.
I don't know his title, but he's
head of product.
He's head of like the front end development.
Yeah, and then Ricardo, obviously our remote guy down in Brazil. Shout out to Ricardo.
Yeah, he's a senior engineer. That guy's a genius, man. He's like an infrastructure kind of guy. Genius.
And I guess for me, tangibly, like I don't see a lot of the back end work you guys do, right? And a ton of the drivers out there, they see the end result, right? They see how the deliveries are being offered, they see how the app works, things like that, but they don't know the back end work that goes into making all this stuff look pretty, right? And look functional. So from your vantage point, how much collaboration is there between your guys' team? How much discussion, thought goes into what the end product actually is that these drivers interact with? And just give us a little behind the scenes look into what the tech team does on a daily basis.
So yeah, a ton of collaboration and planning goes into every single project that we undergo. And not only that, we have projects listed out through half of next year. We have a roadmap of just huge projects that are going to alter the processes for the agents and the drivers to make everything a lot easier and more efficient. So a lot of collaboration goes into that. That happens a lot of times at a high level with like Benzel, our CTO, and the rest of the executives here decide what they want to do next. So that feeds into a lot of what our roadmap items are and for the big things we want to do for the future. And then what feeds into what we want to do now to help the agents and drivers. It comes from people like Vic and all the dispatchers and agents, because they tell, hey, I'm struggling with this, I'm having difficulty with this. So we might reprioritize our tasks to say, let's go ahead and pop this problem forward and make this easier for them because it seems like it's pretty important. So there's multiple ways that planning and tasks and things come along to the tech team, but most of them come from feedback from our drivers and from our agents,
Hell yeah.
and from the big picture thinkers, like Derry and like Aaron, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that's probably good for the fleet out there to hear too, right? Because they're consistently letting us know, like, hey, this isn't working how we think it should, or you could be doing this, this, and this a little bit better, and that feedback is being taken into consideration, right?
Oh, I mean, it's the driving force for the things that we do.
Hell yeah, hell yeah! I think that's beneficial for a lot of people to hear, without giving too much away, I guess. Obviously, like proprietary software, things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything the fleet could be expecting? Like you mentioned, you have things road mapped out till middle of next year. Mm-hmm. Is there anything we can preview? Anything dealing with the application, dealing with partners, dealing with the back end tech side of things that would make, I don't know, the drivers a little giddy to see what happens with the platform in the next year or so?
Yeah, so we did just launch a very sophisticated monitoring service, which it probably seems pretty similar to what it was before with the drivers, with a couple additions that messages them, texts them, and also alerts our agents when things are like possibly going awry, with deliveries, which I think could help remind drivers, hey, you got a delivery coming up. And that's going to evolve into something a lot bigger, right? We got the groundwork ready to help alerts and monitoring, which is huge in a time-based company. We have the groundwork for that now done to do bigger things. I think one of our next big focuses is assisting with routing, right? So we might have the opportunity to offer drivers deliveries where they don't have to worry about getting maybe a call from a dispatcher saying these don't work. They don't have to worry about reviewing. Well, they might want to review the route, but they don't have to worry about being as specific about it, because we'll implement the software that can maybe do that for them. You know what I mean? So that'll be big. Take a lot of time off the drivers and the agents' plates. There's a lot more down the pipeline that I can't talk about, but the drivers will be aware of when it happens. Those are probably two of the smallest things that I just mentioned. So sorry guys, we're gonna have to wait and see here. There's a lot of planning and building that goes into everything. It's gonna take time, and I wanted to point that out. Sometimes we get complaints from agents and drivers that say, this doesn't work, this is a problem, we have bots, we have this, that, and we're working to actually assist in those things. But when it comes to software and integrating those things into a much larger scale application or multiple applications, it takes a lot of time, and it takes planning, design, all that kind of stuff. So it's not a lot of the complaints or issues that have arisen are actually being currently worked on,
Yeah,
and I want them to know that.
A little bit to evaluate how you actually fix those things.
Exactly. And it takes evolution of the application too. So maybe we don't have the capability right this moment. So we have to evolve the software to actually be able to integrate a fix or a way to deal with that,
Yeah, that's all super interesting and pretty intriguing. It's a nice little preview, I think, into what could be coming for our application and for the fleet in the near future. That's really all I got in terms of DeliverThat. I think obviously we spent a lot of time together, as you mentioned, the dispatch field. We started out delivering more together. It was a hell of a tandem, I think, to start. Yeah. Obviously, we're missing your presence sometimes over here on this side of things. So I'm happy to always get you in and back in front of the camera when we can.
Yeah, and I have another meet the team that goes a little bit more personal. So if you guys want to check that out, just don't watch the video, because I think I was like running on 3 hours of sleep and I was fat.
Yeah, the camera quality also is probably not as good as this is nowadays. But
yeah,
let's close it out then.
Yep, let's do it.
Do a little this or that. Just give you one or the other. You pick one, and we'll see.
Oh yeah, I love these. Okay, yeah.
All right, so this will be Tristan, this or that. Starting out, early mornings or late nights?
You know what, man? I think now, just recently, I'm switching over to an early morning guy. I'm not kidding. I was always late nights, but I'm just this week been early mornings.
What, like, is it functionality of what you need to do for
Yeah.
work, or like you're just getting
Life.
better sleep at night now, so you're waking up earlier? Like, what do you think
It's
is
my
the catalyst?
I need to I'm slowly moving in that direction. I was definitely a late night guy, but this week I've been working on moving in the direction of early mornings because of the functionality of my life. Like I have a lot of things to do. I have a lot of work to get done. I got a daughter, all these kind of things. I want to keep working out, you know, and wake up and go to the gym. So I've been slowly transitioning into being an early morning person, and I think it's actually a lot healthier direction to go.
Yeah, I
Unless
was
you work at night.
right. Yeah, if you
Yeah.
like a late shift kind of person. I was considering things like that too, because people always say like start your day like with a workout, get a sweat in, and you get
Mhm.
like the endorphins, things like that, kind of going early in the morning. But I'll be damned, dude. This time of year,
It's hard.
when you wake up and it's 35 degrees, 40 degrees out, it's still pitch black. I'm just like, dude,
It's
this bed
hard.
feels so nice.
Yeah, I just keep telling myself, like, am I so mentally weak that I can't roll out of bed right now?
Yeah.
It's like you gotta, I gotta be a man. You know what I mean? That's what I'm like. That's my mindset. I'm like, dude, I gotta be a man. Like, my whole life, so
Yeah.
I better start
Yeah,
somewhere.
it's you versus yourself a lot of times.
Yeah.
That's very true. That's
Yeah.
very true. What do you how do you feel about summer or winter?
Summer all day, every day. Like my daughter likes winter more. I think it's because she likes snow. But I was like, just wait till you grow up. No. But yeah, summer for sure, man. I like wearing like less clothes. I like being barefoot. I like being able to go in the woods, stuff like that. I don't like being freezing when I'm outside. You know, I don't like that.
Yeah. You don't gotta explain that to me. I'm in the same boat there. Would you prefer books or movies?
Man, probably books. I get a lot more out of books. We're sitting down and reading, more so. Like, if do we count Audible as a book?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, just listening, because nowadays I love listening to books. I get way more out of books than movies, like because books are always about something specific. You can find a book about anything you want to learn about. It's like, and you're already directed in that direction. That's why you're reading that book, so you get more from it because you're actually focused. It's not just for entertainment all the time. Like self-help books and stuff like that, they're great.
Hell yeah. What do you have a favorite self-help book or anything you just mentioned along those lines?
Right now, I'd say my favorite book that I read is 12 Rules of Life by Jordan Peterson. I love that guy so much. I think he's controversial, but whatever. Love that guy. He's actually coming out with a new book. Can't wait to read that. So yeah.
All right. A little JP. I don't mind a little Jordan Peterson every
Mhm.
now and then. What's up next? I got it. Dogs or cats?
Man, I got 3 cats, dude. I don't want any more pets ever. When my cats die, I'm not getting another pet. There's no shot. I don't really like having pets. I love them to death, like both of those animals, but I don't want to take care of them anymore. I still take care of my cats. Let's be clear. So I would have to actually say though, as I've grown up, I actually do prefer dogs.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's more of a companionship than having a cat.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially as a man, I feel like.
You had a dog growing up too, right?
Yeah, awesome dog, Samoa. He was like over 100 pounds, Alaskan Malamute, just like yours. White, furry, and just nobody ever would mess with us.
And that dog, just like Sky, she does it every now and then. They just take off.
Oh, he would, man. He would. He actually lived outside. I mean, he would come inside too, but like in the garage because he had so much fur.
Yeah, it's cooler.
And he would be hot inside,
Right.
and he would shed everywhere. And he actually liked living out there.
Yeah, every now and then Sky will like want let out, and it's like 11 p.m. midnight, and I'm like, all right, and I'll let her out, and I just fall asleep, and I'll wake up at like 6 a.m. and she just spent the whole night outside.
And she'll just be gone.
No, she'll be like chained up. I have her like on a lead and stuff, but she
Okay.
like doesn't mind. She'll just be like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I just slept out here.
Yeah. Samoa used to take off. Yeah. He would dig under the fence.
That was 4, right? That was 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So last one. Let's close it out. This is one of my favorite ones to ask. How should I ask it? Would you rather cook at home or go out to eat?
Like, it's a hard question because I'd rather go out to eat. Yes. But I'd also rather cook at home and save money and learn more about cooking. And it's probably going to be a lot healthier. You know what I mean? So it's like, I like both of them. But like, if I had to choose like right now, I would definitely go out to eat. Because you don't have to do anything. You know what I mean? They just bring you the food, but then all you gotta do is empty your wallet. You know.
What do you have a favorite restaurant around town to go to?
Yeah, there's this new place that opened up down the road over here. It's been around for a couple months now. Fuji Sushi.
Interesting.
It is insane. I was ordering Uber from them so much, and I've been there a couple times too. Don't get me wrong; like I've been there quite a few times. Best crab rangoons in the world. Great sushi. They authentic Japanese food. Bento boxes. Everything. Bro.
Where's it at?
It's kind of where that Denny's used to be over there on Everhard.
Yeah.
Literally the same building. It's
okay.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The building looks kind of skeptical. I would never think it's like legit.
Oh, it's cool, man. It's super nice. It's like you would take somebody on a date there.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's really nice.
I love me a crab rangoon.
Yeah, I love me a date.
Same. All right. That's shit. That's this or that. I appreciate you again coming in, spend some time with me back in front of the camera.
Yep.
Appreciate your friendship through the years. Appreciate the time we got to spend together.
I think this is the nicest he's ever been to me.
Yeah, I'm putting on a show for the camera. You know? You gotta do what you gotta do. But thank you so much. Hopefully the driver fleet out there, the viewership enjoyed this little sit down, and we will see you soon.
All right. Yep. Later, y'all.